Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I'm Tyler here with my brother Ryan. Today we are doing a live mock draft of the Washington Commanders 2025. We'll be the front office. And so while we're going through this, be sure to leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the selections and hit that subscribe button, tackle that bell. And Ryan, let's start the draft here. So Commanders
Let's
picking
do
number
it.
29. Going through some of these picks here. Let's scroll up. Kelvin Banks to the Vikings, Derek Harmon to the Texans. Marion Hampton to the Rams. Very interesting. I could actually kind of see that. Darius Alexander to the Ravens. Nick Scorton to the Lions. And then now the Commanders are on the board here. And the way that they run that defense, I do think that they will be looking for kind of explosive edge players, guys that can be
Yeah.
very versatile. I think Jalen Walker would be interesting. I think a lot of the top edge rushers. Let's see who's still available here. Yeah, so all the top edge, like first round edge rushers, are gone. I think that they can go and get some of these guys here. Some of those guys are going to be gone, like Landon Jackson, Princely. Well, Princely would be more the guy that would be that outside linebacker.
Yeah.
He would
I
be that guy.
Braden Swinson. I am such a big fan of his game. He could be that outside linebacker for you. He's not going to provide nearly as much in the run game, but that would be interesting to see what he could do in that Dan Quinn defense. The other one that the other option I like is potentially going tackle. You had Samuel Cosme get hurt. I personally still feel like Brandon Coleman's best position is going to be at that left guard spot, anyways. You draft an Ariante Ursary, a Josh Connerly here at the end of the first round,
Yeah,
and
Cosme
get your
was
tackle.
right guard, but I see your point. Maybe you can
Yeah,
move some things around.
yeah.
Um, you
Well,
could do
left
that.
guard, right guard is much more interchangeable than like left tackle, right tackle. So
That's fair. That's fair. I don't really think there's a wrong pick here. I will say, I mean, they could go secondary, as you said, maybe safety specifically.
mhm.
But I mean, Mike Sanders still did really well. They have Marshawn Lattimore now too. I believe they're going to hang on to him as well. So a cornerback spot, I think they can get depth later. So for me, I'm almost kind of leaning towards Jalen Walker. I think just having that versatility, it does seem like they are also going to be moving on. If they haven't already officially moved on from Jonathan Allen, where they're going to let him know that he has been traded. Let me check that here real quick. Da, 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 da. Yeah, the reports are Commanders will release Jonathan Allen if they can't find a trade partner, clear up some cap space. So I think now, especially too, getting that other sort of edge rusher, and I think they can maybe get
Yeah.
defensive interior a little bit later to kind of fit that. So I'll leave it up to you, Jalen Walker, or then whoever
L-
else that you might be thinking.
let's do Jalen Walker. I feel like he
Perfect.
can move around and be a versatile
Exactly.
defender that Dan Quinn would love. So
Yeah.
let's do Jalen Walker there. That kind of addresses the edge. He won't play edge full time. He'll play kind of middle linebacker, and then in some pass rush scenarios, come down towards the line of scrimmage. They
Exactly.
do still need tackle. I I will say we could draft Ariante Ursary here. I don't think he's going to make it. I think there are much more tackle needy teams at the end of the first, top of the second, that would be willing to take a guy like him. The Arizona Cardinals, the Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, you have the Patriots up there as well, the Bears. Like there are a lot of teams I think that will put a priority on drafting a tackle. I don't think he'll be here.
Yeah.
We could still take him if you feel differently, but
I will say to me, kind of what I'm thinking, and I know they just traded for Deebo, but I also think too that you still need to just be getting younger and getting more talent at that position there. Like so, it was Terry McLaurin. And there are other guys that contributed as well, but also to
mhm.
Olamide's a free agent, Jameson Crowder, Deami Brown, Noah Brown, KJ Osborne, even like all these guys are free agents. The only guys they have on contract right now for receivers is Terry McLaurin, Debo, and Luke McCaffrey. And so I think Luke McCaffrey can
Ooh, interesting.
step up as well. But I still think too, Debo. I don't want to say Debo's like a long-term rental. Like he's going to provide a lot of great value this year, and I think he's on the last year of his contract, so it's very possible they don't even re-sign him after this year. So you still got to think about 2026. So I'm looking at
Yeah.
guys like, to me, if you want to go see who else is available here, this is kind of late, but Savon Williams would be interesting, especially having Jayden Daniels as his QB. Um, I'm kind of with what you said. It's another video. Tez Johnson being his size and running the 4.5 doesn't really bode well overall.
Yeah.
I think Isaiah's Bond speed or to like he ran in the 4.4 still fast, but I also think to
He did it. He
not
did reach like 24 and a half miles per hour. Sorry. Uh,
and on the 40.
Yeah, he did. I mean, like, which was the fastest recorded speed of anybody running the 40.
Why didn't he run the fastest time then? Was there a glitch on the system?
S
So I would think those two
no.
things would correlate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's not necessarily how fast you can run, it's how fast you can get up to max speed.
That's fair. Okay, that's a fair
Yeah.
point too. So I didn't do too good in school. So but I think receiver is a legitimate spot here as well, especially after going kind of with your pseudo edge rusher. You maybe could see what offensive linemen are available here also, but I think your next pick is going to be where you could get some more in have some good interior value.
I
Uh,
have an idea for the next pick.
okay,
If you want to go wide receiver, I like we could go Jalen Royals. You could go Jalen Noel also. Savion Williams if you want to go that route. The
let's go
other
Jalen
one,
Noel because I think
the
he's going to complement them well too. I see where you're going here now with their next pick. They're picking at 79.
well, I was gonna say if you don't want to go receiver, you could go tight end. Like this could be Mason Taylor, Terrence Ferguson territory. Um, with that being said, they brought back Zach Ertz on another 1 year deal. This is a deeper tight end class. You could potentially uh, dip into the class a little bit later. The only problem is you have 79 and then you have over 120 picks until your next one. Uh, so that'll be interesting. You said Jalen Noel.
Yeah, to Jalen Noel because if
Okay.
you're just looking at the roster, obviously Deebo Samuel was going to be that gadget guy, but even the slot guys are all free agents, and I think he can maybe come in and then I also think long term he'll complement Terry McLaurin pretty
Okay.
well. So
Um, so where I was going with the other picks was I feel like you can invest in either Jonas Savanaia or Anthony Belton. At this point, you could go with Wyatt Milam or like Marcus Bowe. The problem is I feel like those three guys, Marcus Bowe, Wyatt Milam, and Charles Grant, are all most likely going to kick into guard. So Jonas Savanaia probably will as well. There's just a better chance that he'll be able to stick it out at tackle. The last true tackle left, Anthony Belton, is definitely an NFL tackle.
yeah,
And so I feel like he can play left tackle, he can play right tackle. His biggest thing is I think he has like some mental hurdles and mental lapses to overcome during games. And so I feel like that's going to be something that he will need. So that could be a potential spot, I landing spot, I think, for him.
let's go. I'm indifferent. I like the offensive line play here. Let's go with Jonas Savanaia. I think
Okay.
that is going to be a route that you end up going with, just because there is that better chance of versatility throughout the entire offensive line, while majority of these guys are probably
Okay.
going to kick in. So
Okay.
I don't think we've done Jonah yet either.
No, I don't think we have either.
So
But I mean, I really like him. He's probably the strongest offensive lineman in
yeah,
this class. I mean, this is a really good interior offensive line class, I will say. And a
yeah,
lot of that is just projections of tackles kicking into guard. And Jonas Savanaia, you can noticeably see on tape, his hands just hit heavier than most, if
yeah.
not all, of these guys.
Yeah. Let's quickly recap here the three picks before we get to 206. So Jalen Walker, that edge rusher, linebacker, gadget hybrid, the Deebo Samuel of the defense. Jalen Noel, and then you have Jonas Savanaia as well. All J names so far. So we have to pick. I'm saying Jalen
Yeah.
Smith might be the guy. Actually, I
Yeah.
think that's the route we should end up going. And actually, I say that could be something that they could end up doing here, getting just better corner secondary depth,
Yeah.
just as a whole. And so actually, Jalen Smith might not be a bad option.
No, actually that wouldn't be.
All right, let's go
Honestly,
Jalen Smith here.
I'm here for it just for
Yeah. So what other J?
yeah.
238 here. There's a linebacker Jalen Walker from Indiana. He'd be going around here as well.
Yeah, they did do that. So we have what wide receiver, offensive line, linebacker, and corner, edge slash linebacker. So that's really all their best needs. So or all their biggest needs. So we could go. Are you just looking at? J
Yeah, we
names
could do
now.
Jaquindon Jackson or Joquavius Marks because also too
I,
running back wise, Jerry McNichols is a free agent. Austin Eckler, he might be a cap casualty as well.
yeah, they could do that at this point. I think Jaquavius Marks might be the better
Well,
spellback to Brian Robinson.
if we're being serious about this, yeah, yeah, because you would want to try and find a more Austin Eckler replacement, a
Yeah,
guy
and
that
and
can be
that is
that.
definitely Jaquavius
All
Marks.
right, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Is that let's see.
And
Any
then
is there any other things? Any other
Joshua Gray.
Yeah, but we got Savanaia.
eh,
All right, let's do Jaquavius Marks. Let's keep it all J names so
And
far.
then Jalen Walker needs to be available. And then we'll just,
Nope, he
oh my
went.
gosh, he just went off.
Let's
Joshua,
see. Let's see if we can get a true tackle. Nope, no J's.
no, no J's. No J's whatsoever.
uh
Uh, Jordan Hancock.
okay, so he has a J in his name. It just doesn't start. But Dan Jackson, I think, would be a really good value
I
pick
actually,
here.
it,
Uh
head coach name is Dan Quinn, so I think he's that. No, but
okay,
in all seriousness, though, no, I agree with you there. Where if you're trying to find some sort of secondary depth, and
yeah.
also too, if you're trying to find a leader of a locker room, this was a guy I think you said walk on at
Former
Georgia.
walk on at Georgia came in. He had a really good Senior Bowl. He practices and plays really, really hard.
Yeah, let's go,
Um,
Dan. Let's go, Jackson Dan. And so,
I Jackson Dan. I do feel like at the end of the day, this would kind of turn into a little bit memey, but like I think they have they did such a good job last offseason. They have so few holes to fill. They've already gone out and added an elite pass catcher this offseason. So I think it's going to be like you get an edge rusher / linebacker and Jalen Walker. You get Jalen Noel, Jonas Savanaia, Jalen Smith, Jaquavius Marks, Dan Jackson. A lot of these guys are going to be role players, I think, to start. Also, they brought back Bobby Wagner today on a 1 year deal, and so I feel like you go get Jalen Walker. He can learn under Bobby Wagner for a year or two, and then take over in his leadership role as well. I mean, I like a lot of these moves. The Commanders are a really good team now, and I know that's sounds. Commanders fans have been waiting to say that for a long time, but this team has the bones to be consistently good for a very long time, and I'm excited to see it.
yeah, it's and I think this whole draft is going to hinder on how well they do on these first three picks. With their fifth round pick, Deebo Samuel is going to provide way more value than any other fifth round pick that they would have drafted there. So
Oh
I love
yeah,
the move there, especially if they're trying to win now. And I think it just goes to show too, like what good front office leadership can provide. You just kind of overall spirit for a team. You get good head coaching guys in there as well. So uh, I like this. I wish them the best of luck. I wish we would have found somebody at 250 that had a J first name, but we'll kind of have to wait and see.
yeah. So with that being said, let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of this Commander 7-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? None of that. We'll see you guys next time.